When I say put on a condom, I mean it. I briefly dated a guy for 3 weeks, and he seemed sweet and respectful. However, he completely caught me off guard during our last encounter. A few days before, we had started having sex, and I made it clear that I wanted to use condoms. He agreed and expressed his happiness about using them as well. But something changed in his mind after our first night without protection. When we were about to have intimacy again, I reminded him to put on a condom. He initially said he would but wanted to tease me a bit first. When he was about to proceed without one, I spoke up again, insisting that he put a rubber on. Despite my repeated requests, he continued to pressure me, attempting to convince me that it would feel better without one. On the third time I refused, he finally relented and put on a condom. By the end of the night, I felt confused and unsettled, and it wasn't until after he left that I realized what had just happened. I ended things with him, intending to discuss his actions and let him know that it was unacceptable, not something he should do to anyone else. However, because he already knew I would no longer be with him, he didn't give me a chance to express how his behavior made me feel. It feels as if he violated my boundaries and then demanded that I respect his by suppressing my pain. When I confronted him about it, his response was to ask if it was such a big deal to forego the condom, considering we were both clean and I had an IUD. It's not that he couldn't have asked me about it, but the issue lies in the fact that he shouldn't have asked me at the moment he was trying to force himself on me, especially after I had already requested a rubber twice and discussed using them earlier. How can someone claim to care about women's reproductive rights and then behave this way towards me? I had never had unprotected intimacy before, and I wanted to make the choice of when to have that experience. Instead, he tried to take away that choice from me. I reported him on Bumble and to the police. I sincerely hope he never repeats this behavior with anyone else. It's incredibly disappointing when a person initially appears to be kind-hearted but then disrespects your feelings and treats you as nothing more than a conquest. Is honesty, respect, and empathy so difficult to offer? I showed him more compassion by offering to talk things over than he deserved based on his response to me. I will never comprehend how people can be so cruel and inconsistent.